Good morning, beautiful people. So I'm here live in Facebook, Instagram. My name is Marco. I'm a coach. And here today we have a lot of work to do. I'm very excited because I am going to share with you some tools on how to deal with limiting, unhelpful, painful emotions. Okay? And first of all, what we're going to do is define what emotions are. And I have here something I have prepared for this talk that I want to share with you. This document. So, what is this? What are emotions? There are very different, many definitions. I found one that is, I agree with it, and it's, for me, it defines in a perfect way what an emotion is. So, it says, an emotion is an affective state that we experience, a subjective reaction to the environment that is accompanied by organic, physiological and endocrine. So you feel it in your body. This is very important and you'll see why. That is accompanied by organic, physiological and endocrine changes of innate origin. And it's influenced by the experience. So the experience that we have in the past. Emotions have an adaptive function of our organism to what surrounds us. It is a state that comes about suddenly and abruptly, so you can control. It comes from, and it's produced in your unconscious, subconscious mind, in the form of more or less violent and more or less momentary crisis. Okay? Now that we know what an emotion is, so it's a reaction of our body to something external of us, and it produces also some kind of physiological reaction and reaction to it. Why is it important to manage our emotions? There's a nice book, if you like to go deeper into this issue, that I recommend you to read. It's called The Face of Emotions, and the author is called Paul Ekman. And he says something very interesting about emotions. He says that emotions determine the quality of our existence. They occur in all the relationships that matter to us, at work, at friends, with the family, and our most intimate relationships. They can save our lives, of course, if we are cautious. That probably the deeper emotion, the primary emotion is fear. It might save our lives. This is burning, or that's a cliff, I'm not going there, or whatever. But they can also do us a lot of harm. If I dwell on sorrow and sadness, if I'm continuously dealing with anger, so that somehow those emotions, at a certain moment, they will and are helpful, but if we perdure too long on that state, it will harm us. They can lead us to act in ways that seem realistic and appropriate, but they also can lead us to actions that we will later regret with all our hearts. And I'm sure that while I'm saying this, you're relating to moments in your life where you really felt this. It is important to emphasize that emotions are necessary in our decision making, and also this is something very important. It is very difficult, maybe impossible for us to learn whatever we are learning in life. Either it is a course or a workshop or what we are studying, or even things in our daily lives, if they're not related with an emotion. If you want to learn, you have to practice, repeat, and also put an emotion on it. It's very important for you to understand that there aren't good or bad emotions. Okay? The emotions are part of our lives. It's who we are. It defines who we are. What is important to understand is how to deal and how to manage these emotions in order to live towards our highest potential. This is what is important. So I can't say that anger is bad. Anger at a certain moment might help me to deal with certain issues and might help me to act. Anger might be unhelpful and limiting if I base all my decisions and all my behaviors in anger. What I'm going to have probably at the end is more anger. It's not that I want in order to live a peaceful, joyful life. So, what are the 5 basic or deep emotions? Psychology or neurolinguistic programming will say that we have 5, maybe 6 deep primary emotions, being those: joy. Although in my practice as a coach, I don't have people coming because they feel content or enjoy or happy. They will come to work with me because probably what they are feeling are the following: fear, that's a big one, sadness also, anger also, and one that I only see normally when there is some kind of sexual abuse or that kind of stuff. It's disgust. Some authors will also refer surprise as a basic deep emotion, and some other lines of thought will also say that we only experience 2 emotions, that those being love from one side and fear in the other side. Okay? But we're going to work, and in my line of work, in my field of work, we work with this. Okay? So joy, fear, sadness, anger, and disgust. So let's go for the first tool in order to deal with those emotions. And the first tool is somehow bring awareness that you might be feeling that an emotion, a limiting emotion. What are you going to do? The first thing you do, and this is the first thing I ask to my clients, is to pick up a topic or a theme where they would like to work. And how to do this? You just have to answer the following questions. The first question is, what do you most want to change in your life? So this is very and probably the most important question, and bring awareness on that question, and just sit for a while in the silence while you're answering this question. It might be one of those consciousness, awareness beautiful aha moments that you can experience. What do you really most want to change in your life? Is it in your work? Is it in your relationship? Is it in the way that you develop self-love, exercise, food, rest, emotional well-being? What do you really want to change in your life? Second question, what do you fear the most? Third, what makes you most angry? And the last question is, what do you most refuse to accept? What's there in your life that you don't want to accept and somehow unbalances you emotionally speaking? This is tool number 1. Let's call it making a self-inquiry, building awareness around what emotions are ruling your life at this moment, and probably you identify as this emotional state is limiting me. I want to step away from this. I want to improve my life emotionally. Tool number 2. You know what? In this tool, I want you to follow me. I want you to do this exercise with me. This is a really very powerful exercise, and it will really help you to identify a primary deep emotion. And it's called, this exercise that I normally use at my practice, it's called Path to the Subconscious Mind or to the Unconscious Mind. So the first thing you have to do is go to a moment, go to an event in your life where you connected with, let's say, limiting emotion. A limiting feeling, a painful feeling. Go to an event where you suffered, where you experienced suffering. Go to that moment mentally. It could be something that happened yesterday, last month, last year, 10 years ago. But it's something that somehow, when you think about it, you experience some kind of suffering. You don't like it. I need you to go there. You can even close your eyes at this moment. Go to this moment in your life where you experience this event. Go to that day. Go to that moment. Identify where you are. If you're alone, if you're with someone else, where is that person? Where are those people around you? Left, right, in front of you? Are you sitting? Where are you? Is it your house? Is it outside? Is it in your car? Are you talking on the phone with someone? Are you reading a message on your phone? Go exactly to that moment, mentally. Again, close your eyes. To do this, it's important that you close your eyes and you somehow associate with that moment. When you're there, be aware of the images around you, the colors, the shapes. Be aware also of the sounds. The sound of your voice, the sound of others' voice. You are there. Now, go to the moment that we will call the moment of emotional impact, emotional shock. Go to that moment. Now what I need you to do is for you to connect with the thoughts of that moment. When whatever happens, what are you thinking? What are your thoughts? What's your first thought? What's your second thought that is behind the first one. And the third thought that is even deeper than the first and the second. Okay, we are ready to go to the next step. Now we're going to connect with your feelings. After the thought comes the feeling. What are you feeling? You might be feeling something like, I'm not able to do this, I'm not good enough, I can't do it, I can't control this. Feeling some kind of anguish also. Now let's go a step further, let's go a little bit deeper. What is your emotion at this moment? Are you feeling angry? Are you feeling sad? Are you feeling probably anxious and fear? Or is it disgust? Now this next step is very, very important. Now identify where in your body do you feel, do you connect with this emotion? Is it in your throat? Is it in your chest? Is it in your tummy? Is it in your hands? Where do you feel that emotion? Where do you locate that emotion in your body? Put your hand there in a very comfortable way. Connect with that feeling. Now, again, when you put your hand where you feel that emotion, identify what is your primary emotion. Is it still sadness, or is it something different and deeper? Is it still fear? Is it still anger or disgust? Identify what emotion are you feeling at the moment. Very good. Just know that I admire you to come so far, because sometimes this is the moment when connecting with these emotions, they can come to surface. Allow those to come to surface. If there are tears, if there are anger, allow them to come to surface. Now, slowly be aware of where you are. Feel your body on the chair or feet on the ground, and slowly, slowly you can open your eyes and be aware of the here and now. Okay? So, now you have an emotion, you identify. In that event, the primary basic emotion was either fear, anger, disgust, sadness. Now, what are we going to do with this emotion? If you were in a coaching session, if you're in a session with me, what we do next is we go before in time, up into a moment between 3 and 9 years old, and to understand when was the first time you connected with this emotion. And once there, we will also find how to revert, how to change that emotion into something that is positive and constructive to you. But this is made in a one-to-one private session. What can you do from now on that you identified that emotion? There's one very simple thing that you could do after identifying the emotion, is You have it in your mind, you have it inside you, you know where you feel it. What you're going to do is something called affect or emotion labeling. We've kind of done this, but we can go a little bit further. We've done, okay, I know, I'm feeling anger, I'm feeling sadness, I'm feeling fear, blah, blah, blah. What you can do is put that outside of you. Okay, so you feel it in your body, it's here. I didn't want it here because it hurts. So let's put it outside. How do I do this? Very simple. I can even see it in my hand and I write it down mentally in my hand. Okay? And I can say to myself, I'm feeling fear. Fear is what I'm feeling. But now it's outside of me. It's in my hand. Or you can even put and write that down in a piece of paper. And also do the same. I'm feeling sadness. Sadness is what I feel. And now it's outside of me. It's in this piece of paper. So what you're doing is mentally taking it out of you and putting somewhere else. You are starting to be the observer of the emotion, not the emotion itself. You are starting to be the, let's say, consciousness that identified that you felt an emotion, but you are not that emotion, and you can choose to allocate that emotion outside of you. This simple exercise is so powerful. You can put it on your hand, you can put it in a piece of paper, you can put it on the floor, just outside. That's the third exercise or the third tool you could use to manage your emotions. It's called affect labeling. And it was developed by some scientists in the University of California. Their names are Torre and Lieberman. Okay, if you just want to research and go a little bit deeper. Now, this next tool is something that I already talked about in the second video I've done this week. And it's called self-forgiveness. Here, again, what do? You've managed to identify the emotion, where in the body do you feel, what are you going to do next? Again, the same exercise. You're going to allocate that emotion outside of you. Here you can put it in a gift box. You just visualize putting that emotion outside of you, inside the gift box. And you're going to deliver that to, let's say, higher power, higher wisdom. If you believe in God, you'll say God, Jesus, Buddha, I don't know. If you don't believe in a higher power, you can give it to the sun, to the sea, to nature, to the wisdom of nature that recycles, rebuilds everything. So the important thing is that you're putting that outside of you and giving it away to a higher wisdom that is going to recycle it, put peace on it. So, after doing this, after giving it out, say something to yourself like, I forgive myself for feeling this emotion. This is what you're forgiving you for. You're forgiving you for feeling an emotion that limits you, that puts you down, that makes you suffer. So you will say something like, I forgive myself because I did not know how to do better. I forgive myself because I did not love myself all that I could. I forgive myself because I let this emotion cause me suffering, not being able to connect with peace and self-love. Understood? Okay. This is the moment to tell you that you can do this mental exercise. These are some words, but you can put your own words on this. This is the moment to tell you that you can do this thousands of times a day. Every time that you connect with an emotion that is limiting you, just give it away and say to yourself, I forgive myself to fulfilling this emotion that is setting me apart from peace, self-love, etc., etc. Okay? So, this was tool number 4, self-forgiveness, developing self-forgiveness. Just before I go, there are other tools that you can use, and I invite you to research. Go, look. There is a world of managing, emotional managing tools out there. I gave you some. I'm going to give you some more, and go out there and research. But I always say to the people that come to my workshops or even to my coaching sessions, either if it's with me or other person that you're working with, always look, never give up for looking for what is going to bring you peace. It might be something very small, it might be that you have to do some therapy with someone else. It doesn't matter. But always look that at the end there is peace, there is joy, or even freedom. Never stop looking for that. That's also a very important message I have for you. So, other tools or techniques to manage emotions. One that I use, I've been using for a while in my practice with beautiful, amazing, very emotional results, is to work with the wounded inner child. We all have one, more or less wounded, but it's there, and it's also managing our lives. So it's very important to connect with that inner child. If you want to go deeper on this, read the work of John Bradshaw. He has a book that is amazing on that. Other things you can do, of course, silent meditation. When you close your eyes and you're in silence and you bring your awareness to who you are, what you are feeling, you connect with your emotions. And this is very important. Mindfulness, that is also be a way of meditation for some. What is mindfulness? Mindfulness simply whatever you're doing in your daily life, just be present of what you're doing. If you're washing your dishes, be very present, be very mindful of the water in your skin, the temperature, the movements of your body, even of your breathing. That's being mindful. When you're mindful, you're also controlling the way your mind is going to the past or the future. Probably in those journeys to the past or the future, you'll probably connect with sadness or anxiety. So bring your awareness to the present moment, what you're doing in that particular moment. And you most probably feel in peace and calm. Sorry. Another way to deal with your emotions is to practice physical activity. Those of us who have been practicing exercise know what the emotional power that it has. I was a PE teacher for 10 years, and I still remember those students that were doing the exercise with a smile on their face. Those are things you just enjoy seeing that, because they were really enjoying that exercise, to play, to being able to move. So physical exercise has that power. Now, very important, choose something that you really like. So for instance, I played water polo at quite high level for 12 years. But if you would invite me to swim for an hour, 1 hour and a half, just swim with my head inside the water, oh my God, I would suffer, because I need, you know, the cooperation, the team building, the mates, the goal, the ball, everything, the play. This is what I need, I love in sport. Play with your pet. They're amazing in helping us to deal with our emotions. Invest some time in being in contact with nature. Be out there, breathe fresh air, touch the ground, bare feet, swim, allow the sun to caress your skin. Just be out there, embrace nature, respect it, love it, and allow yourself to be loved by that nature. Value and warm up your good relationships with family and friends. Feeling sad? Call someone you love. Call someone that you, for some time, you don't know anything about that person. To receive love, give first. Whenever you can, do something that stimulates you, such as visiting a place you have never been. We all know that travel, it's amazing for the spirit. I now know it's difficult, but soon we'll be able to go out. Read a book. Books are amazing. Companion, friends. See a movie that inspires you. Give yourself a gift. Massage, something you want to buy, whatever. Good food. If you're feeling too stressed, there are things you can do physically. You can massage your lobes. In acupuncture, this part of the year is related with our mind, so relax your lobe, massage your lobes, the palms of your hands also. This helps to relax. This area also helps to relax. Breathing. Learn how to breathe in order to low down that anxiety or that stress that you're feeling. And then there are some techniques and tools, just to finish, that are provided by a third party. And this is where I also support people with. But it might be energy therapies like Reiki, reconnection, acupuncture, massage, and what I do is more related with coaching, NLP. There is a beautiful, amazing method called Bio-Neuro-Emoción that would be translated Bio-Neuro-Emotion. It's basically how emotions mess up with our physical and organic body. Okay? Whatever you do, never give into that emotional state that is limiting you. Always look for, remember, joy, freedom, and peace. Okay? So, I think this is what I had to tell you. I'm just going to see if there is someone with some questions. If you have a question, please write it down. And the video is going to stay on Instagram and also in Facebook. I'm going also to upload to YouTube. Even if you don't have questions now, if you have afterwards, you can either send me a private message or just put in the comments below the video, and I will be more than happy to answer. Okay? Huge hug, calm hug, and I hope to see you very, very soon. Take good care. Goodbye.